This is Drop Tent Media Network.
We're dating.
Oh, my phone's upstairs.
Great.
Oh,
Keep it
oh
up
my
there.
God. So professional. One's upstairs. Okay. Oh my God.
Clap and then go on your own time.
All right.
Rahul.
We're dating.
We're dating. This is fun radio.
It's a podcast.
It's a podcast about dating
and sex.
and all of the above.
My name is Alejandro Morales.
I'm Rachel Peters, and our guest today is Tan Hoang.
Hello.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. This is... They can see the setup. This is awesome.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can see it.
Yeah.
It's so cozy.
It's very cozy. I feel almost spoiled sometimes that I get the couch, but I have to be able to see my laptop. So,
All right, so for our viewers and our listeners, Tan is a stand-up comedian.
Would you call
business
yourself
person?
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? What other monikers would you apply to yourself?
Let's see. Well, I am a stand-up comedian,
Okay.
Yeah.
but I'm now a bubble tea shop owner.
Yeah.
Which it's almost coming up a year.
Wow.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. But yeah, I'm a comedian. I teach sometimes. Not teach. I tutor stand-up sometimes.
Yeah.
I used to teach like the classic Good,
Wow.
and that was fun. But
Did you? Am I wrong to say that you're also a storyteller?
Not really.
Oh, not that.
I
wrong.
don't think so.
Okay. Oh, you're not really. So I am wrong.
Supposed to be an actor.
Aren't we all?
Right. You used to live in New York, yeah?
Yep, I used to live in New York. Yeah, but exactly. Like we're like 2 minutes into the podcast, and I'm already talking about how I went to acting school.
It's okay. We're all failed actors here.
We are all field actors. Yeah. I also went to acting school.
I went to acting school.
Really?
Yeah. I was a failed actor. It's like weird because now that I like wrestle, I like learn Chekhov and like Stanislavski and like Meisner and Shakespeare, and I'm just like putting on a Southern accent and blacking out a tooth. Like that's like what acting training has gotten me.
My favorite lesson in acting school was when this lady told us to masturbate the emotion. That was like, that's what I took away with from my studies. I was like, yes, masturbate the emotion. Jerk it off.
That's such an acting school
My
thing.
school was not like I've heard about these
Masturbating the
these
emotion.
little things, but like no, my acting school was more like try to lose some weight, dye your hair. Like it's screen acting.
Oh.
So it's just very technical. It's like, okay, act, but don't move your chin ever. Like, really? And the small, yeah, don't. It'll ruin the shot.
Oh.
That's more the acting school.
Interesting.
And yeah.
Okay.
The one lesson I always love is I couldn't get upset for this one shot. So my teacher's like, all right, just do 30 push-ups. I'm like, well, I'm not doing it.
Oh, you were supposed to get upset
Do
and you
30
couldn't-
push-ups. All right, fine. And then I did, and I couldn't last until I did 30 push-ups. I did 30 push-ups. I got up and action, and then just did the thing, and it looked perfect.
Okay.
Wow.
Just because everyone looks pissed off.
after exercising.
It's just the breath. You're out of breath, and you're trying to keep it in.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, my character didn't just do 30 push-ups, so I gotta keep the breathing, and it just looks like I'm about to explode.
Oh my
And
god.
it's just like a quick little trick if you need to look like you're angry on stage
Yeah.
or on screen, and you can't pull it off emotionally.
I had a teacher who used to run. That was my thing. I would run up and down the stairs, and I would come into a scene, and then I'd be like, and
Wow.
I remember we were doing like Meisner improvisations, and I just went, "Isn't it curious that your teacher is here?" And then my partner went, "What the fuck did you say to me?" in the improv, and I was like, I said, "Isn't it curious that your teacher is here?" And then my teacher stopped, and she was just like, "When the fuck why you don't talk like that? Stop it." I think the weirdest
Don't you think it's curious that I don't talk like that usually?
I think, yeah, acting school taught me that just because you use big words doesn't mean you're smart. Every acting. The weirdest acting school thing, though, I'm glad that you guys have brought it up, was once I got hit by a car on my way to class. It was not a big car hit. It wasn't like it wasn't like a fatal injury. I made it to class, but like it was shocking and jarring. And so,
Sure. What happened?
it was a cab.
Uh-huh.
And like I was biking and the cab hit my bike and then like I was fine. It was like a slow hit, but like it hurt. And then like the cab like went over my wheel, so my wheel got fucked up.
What?
And like I was a block
They
away.
kept going?
They kept, of course he fucking
Oh
did.
my
It's a
God.
cab. I was part of a hit and run.
Oh my God.
And so we get to, I'm sitting in the corner, like, with my knees up, like different body language than I usually have. And my teacher goes, "Oh, chickadee, what's wrong?" And I went, "I just got hit by a car." And I start like crying because like I'm in shock. And what a normal teacher would do is go, "Oh, go outside, like collect yourself, like take all the time you need." What this teacher did was, "Honey, get in the middle of the room, lie down, everybody make a circle around her, put one hand on Rachel and give her your energy."
Wow.
Did you feel it?
No. Yeah, I felt uncomfortable. And then she was like, "And now everybody say something that you love about Rachel." And this girl that I've never spoken to in my entire life went, "You're fearless." And I wanted to tell her to shut the fuck up so badly.
Yeah.
Fuck acting school.
That was I made like 0 friends.
Yeah.
It was the most insecure time of my life where I felt like I wasn't me the whole time I was there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, we all can act.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not in acting school for some reason.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
Yeah.
like now, yeah, I still crush auditions, but why not? Why not in front of those?
Because you're in your 20s, and then also like they're forcing you. They're just like, "Know who you are, and if you don't, learn it. And if you haven't learned it by now, die." And
Yeah.
it's like really extreme.
Yeah. They used to train us to be like chorus members in my old conservatory.
Oh.
So we had to like sing, dance, and act. But the whole thing was like we had to be ready at a drop of a pin to be like, "My name is Alex. I like pineapples." And then and I already messed it up because I said pineapples instead of pineapples. And then you had to do like a little time step. It just should be like, I have a personality. I'm a person. Dance, 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 pose. And that was the big thing. Have we gotten to experimentation yet? Have we gotten to the theme of the podcast?
No, we haven't even talked about any experimentation.
Any experimentation happened when acting school?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah,
Tie back to that.
actually,
Oh,
that's a very
yeah.
good tie-in. The only girl I've ever dated was in acting school.
oh,
She was. What is the technical term for when something is like when you have transitioned into a different gender and something is now your dead name? I guess
I guess.
that's a dead name, right?
that's dead name. Well, their dead name was Maggie.
Okay.
And I will say, like, I'm only ever been into like a few women. Like, it's very sparse for me. But this person like just blew my mind. They were talented. They were insanely cutthroat, and there was something about that I really enjoyed.
Okay.
And one time we were assigned in a scene together, and she was like, "I don't like doing scenes with you because you BS too much." And she grew up very Christian, and so she didn't curse either. And then I was like, "Well, fine. I'm not going to BS then. Come on, let's go. We'll study." And I like had all my lines together and blah, 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 blah. And then we go to a party and they had never kissed a person before. But they were like drunk and they were like starting to get out of their shell. And so I went up to them and I was like, "Hey, can I kiss you?" And they're like, "Sure." And we made out, and then we made out for 2 hours. And then every time we met up after that, we would make out for a long period of time instead of rehearsing. And then we started kind of seeing each other. And then it kind of fizzled out.
Oh my God. I was waiting. I thought, and then we ate each other out.
Oh no, we did have sex.
Okay.
We did have sex, but like it
Okay.
was one of those things where that was, if anything, that was probably where that was where for me it started to get a little more like, maybe it was a question that I wasn't ready to address at the time, but like I never, like nothing ever happened. We like had sex.
But if the
for,
question was pussy, you were ready to answer it
If
with
the-
your face.
No, the question was, yeah, I answered. Ooh, sorry, I'm getting excited. I answered it with my face, but I just remember like also like up until that time I had like only had relationships with straight men, and so it was just like easy. And so like being with somebody in like a female body for the first time, I was just like, I don't know what to do here. And then I didn't get the like immediate just like gratification that I was so used to. And so I got frustrated. Because making a woman come is hard.
I wouldn't know.
Lazy. but then yeah, things fizzled out. And then I think as they started to come more into themselves and figure out who they were and identified with, they were like, I don't want to deal with a confused straight girl.
Oh.
Which is very valid because
Yeah,
we
that
kind
is
of
valid.
revisited
Yeah.
things like we stopped and then we kind of picked things up again a little bit after we graduated and we like hooked up a couple times. But at that point they had started going by Jack and they had cut all their hair off
Oh.
and they were really starting to like figure out who they were. And I was still a little like, I don't know what I'm doing. And they were like, yeah, I'm not going to wait around for you to figure out what you're doing. And so, yeah, that was my big theater school experimentation.
I think that's
Wow.
crazy that they said that to you.
I know. Right? I'm not here to wait for your journey.
Because like I'm trans. Like I apologize to everybody that ever like got involved with me. Like, hey,
Oh, really?
I'm figuring myself out. Yeah.
Aw.
You know?
Well, what was your yeah, we talked about experimentation and you were like, I've got some tales.
Well, it's just like, after I transitioned, I'm just like, all right, let's try to date. And it didn't feel like dating. It felt more like I'm just everyone's experiment.
Mm.
There's
Well,
a lot of like, oh my God, like guys were afraid to meet in public because they don't, I've had one where like we're talking for like weeks and then on the way to meet, they like broke up with me and texted, I don't think I can, I'm not calm enough to be seen.
Oh, fuck
And
that.
it's so, yeah, this is 2015. So
Okay, yeah. So it's been like
it doesn't
a while.
excuse it. But
Yeah,
this
and
was
you're
that
like,
time.
and now I've been dating somebody happily for 6 years, so fuck that
Exactly.
guy. But wow, that's
And I would deal with a lot of that.
ah,
And just like one after another. And eventually I figure out, experiment. I basically, I have to experiment with myself to know what like works for me.
yeah, absolutely.
Like I'm bisexual.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
I actually did. I don't know why I said right, like I knew that.
No.
Yes.
I'm
And
surprised.
and I used to have like, relationship with very straight guys who
Mhm.
are very into me, but only like, that's what I can describe it. It's like I would have to wear my wig in bed when I sleep at night.
Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
like they don't want to see anything masculine,
Right. They didn't want the illusion or any
Yeah,
like, their
which-
own idea.
which feels like, and at the time I felt very pressured to hold up this, femininity.
Mhm.
And so now I basically would prefer to date bisexual people because, because even when my wigs are off, my makeups are, not wearing makeup, they still find me attractive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Respect. Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
I will
Uh,
say, yeah, when I dated, that was the one thing when we dated, I was like, I don't care who sees us. And that was something. Also, I thought that she was insanely beautiful, but yeah, like it helped because I was always walking around with this gorgeous girl and I was like, and here I am. But like, I can't, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and at the time I really couldn't figure that out. I was just like, oh, I just have to be more feminine. I have to like, keep it. But then like I had a fling with a bisexual guy and they were attracted to me even when I'm completely naked, without the wig and everything. And I
Good.
realized, and it's just like, huh. And that I was like, and so, my partner is bisexual
Right.
and
Yeah.
things are great.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And you're just
I've-
like, this is pretty sick.
Yeah, I feel like they got the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I guess there's something to like experimenting together, and there's something to feeling like you're somebody else's experimentation, which does
Yeah.
that's not a
Yeah.
great feeling necessarily.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The way they talked to me felt very dehumanizing
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just like, we're just people,
Right.
Right.
And then like you're just trying to like it's like, listen, I'm still figuring this out. So I'd rather be with somebody who's actually supportive and lovely
Yeah.
rather than this weird bullshit that you're going through, clearly.
Yeah, it just didn't feel like even if they weren't mean, they just don't think they like realize how much they don't care about my feelings.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so when did you start dating as like an open transgender woman?
Basically right after acting school.
Oh.
Yeah, nice.
My first year acting school, I was still just a straight white male. And then I graduated, transition. and that was very. I did some experiment when I was still a straight male, and that's where the disconnect I realized was, because at the time I was like, I'm just like a bisexual guy, right? Or I'm gay, right? And it's like, no, there's something's off. Come on.
There's something else.
You haven't figured it out yet. And the thing is just that, you know, at the time I, you know, there's a really hot guy in acting school.
There's always one. Always one.
And they were, I think they were gay, but they were, you could not tell. They were ex-Marine, I think. They're big, you know, they're very masculine. And I don't know, I think we flirted a little bit. But then one time I did visit his house in Massachusetts, and we made out for a little bit, and I felt very confused. Just very confused. Like I remember on the bus ride home, like, that didn't go as I wanted. And the reason was because I didn't identify as a male, and I don't think I can. It doesn't feel right for me to be in a sexual, you know, be sexually in the moment, feeling like I'm a guy.
Right.
And unfortunately, that also happens with women as well.
Yeah.
Back. I always, like, I love flirting and dating, and I've had girlfriends my whole life. But when it comes to sex, it's like, oh, it just like a pit drops in my stomach. I'm just like, okay. Yeah. And it's like, what we've been hot and heavy. Like, what are we gonna not do? And it's like, well, yeah. For some reason, I didn't. If we ever go to that.
Yeah.
It's just something and it's probably because I didn't like being with a woman as a man also.
Yeah. That's such like a journey to go on with yourself and to have the awareness of it too.
It just, everything just felt a little off my whole life until now.
Hell yeah.
Now it's like, what's your sexual preference? Bi people. Just that, right? It's just, that's all it really is.
But yeah, it's like you want somebody that's not going to be like tied down to like an idea also of like what is and isn't done.
If I'm being honest, I'm also like more into bisexual men as well, because I feel like they come with less baggage and less expectations in that way. I think they're much more open-minded. You know, when in me with my dealings with gay men, there's always this thing to navigate about, like, all right, who's the top, who's the bottom, who's the boy, and who's the girl, and it's like, well, we're both dudes, right? But there's always like this like policing aspect sometimes in gay relationships where it's like you're not allowed to be too gay or too effeminate. You always have to like keep up this like fantasy, even like within like a relationship. Is like, well, like, all right, well, we're going to the gym and we're gonna do guy stuff because we're men and we do guy. And I feel like bisexual men just don't have that thing of that they need to be constantly reaffirming this like this masculinity or this gender role, and they can like move a little bit more fluidly and not just constantly be like, this is where I am and you have to be doing this or else we don't work together, you know?
Yeah, right. Wait, how much of that like dynamic is that like in every like in most gay relationships that you've like seen or like been a part of?
Honestly, the gay relationships that I've seen that have been the most successful have been between two men who are both like, this isn't woke, a little fruity. Honestly, like the happiest gay couples to me are like men who are like effeminate and they don't give a shit because one is effeminate, the other one's effeminate. Neither one of them has to like uphold this like rigid gender construct because they don't care. They're both like, they'll queen out together, but they also like have sex and love each other. And I think they are the most healthy examples of relationships. I think like the relationships between like the gym gays who like look the same and they're constantly like just keeping up this image, I don't think those are the healthier relationships. I'm not one to talk because I don't have any relationship. I don't know how to be, but I do feel like there is that open-mindedness with bisexual men where they let you be yourself a little bit more.
You know what's weird? I think for me an odd like, it's not a deal breaker question, but it's definitely like a revealing question about like the idea, like the threesome, right? And like most like hetero relationships, like there is that question. What's the threesome dynamic?
Yeah, is that whose question is that? Who's wondering?
I don't know. It's everybody's, isn't it?
I don't know why I nodded like I didn't know what to say. Like, I take back that nod, but no,
You
I don't,
do look like you're at like a lecture at like a college right now, and like,
I know nothing about threesome.
I've never had a threesome, but it's always kind of been like, I want to eat tu mama también type threesome.
Okay.
Or I'm dying of cancer.
Those are the two.
No, I do want like a male, female, and I'm down to do a female, male. I'm honestly down to do any threesome if all parties are interested. So, but like the thing is, like when you ask that question to like a guy you're dating and they're just like, oh, I'd only do a female, male threesome.
Right.
I'm like, oh, so you're kind of like weird and rigid, and you're just sort of fulfilling like your own fantasy and kind of selfish in a way. Like,
Yeah,
it's like
for
part
sure.
of like the
Also,
idea.
it's hard to get two guys to hang out. That's like you can't force two guys to hang out. Even you're like sex. Yeah, they're like,
Yeah, right. Take a difficult thing, make it harder. But like, yeah, it's an interesting like question to have with experimentation. I like sometimes when an experiment is like thrown on me and I got to deal with it in the moment. But like, I mean, not everyone, because like there is a level where it's like, okay, too much. We need to talk about this first.
Oh yeah.
But
Well, it's like when our married friend brought us up to my bedroom.
Yes.
Not to tell tales out of school, but there's this lovely, wonderful married woman,
Amazing person.
who has opened up her marriage, and she was on experimentation rampage. She was really about it, and embracing it, and wonderful. And I embraced it too. And
We were up
she came to
there.
a house, and there was a house party. This is years and years ago.
Yeah.
But we had a house party, and so this woman who had opened up her marriage was just very eager to like just get experimenting. So she brought me and Rachel up to my room and made us all kiss.
We all get okay.
this Rachel.
Yeah, this Rachel, yes.
Well, because this is how it started off. Alejandro and I, we were all talking, all three of us talking. We were laughing and laughing. And then Alejandro and I were like, we haven't kissed yet, have we? Oh, no, we haven't. And then they were like, what if you did?
Yeah, so she
And
brought
then
us up.
drunk Rachel was like, oh, let's do it. And then we kissed real quick. And it was cute.
It was fine.
It was fine. You're still gay. Like, it was fine.
It was really nice. It was tender.
And
Then
then
we both kissed the.
And then we both kissed the experimenting
yeah.
lady. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to pop downstairs again.
So it was
And I
really
left you
more
in it.
For either, it wasn't really for either. Both of us were like, whatever. This is like
Right.
old hat to both of us, but it was really exciting for the other women. So I'm
Yeah.
glad we could
Yeah.
Just a toe dip.
little toe
Like a
dip.
toe dip.
Yeah, we all just a little quick toe dip.
I think I would encourage a toe dip for everyone in the world.
Absolutely. And yes, you know what? Everybody should dip their little toe in, you know? Not and it's tough when it comes to experimentation because there's an element of like, or there's a potential element of like coercion, right? Where you're like
Right.
trying to make somebody do something they don't really want to do.
Or discomfort, or
Right.
like, yeah.
Right, exactly. So there is an element of discomfort. It really has to be about the person who's like doing the exploring has to feel supported in that they're like exploring this new territory. But that's not like what you usually run into when you're trying something new. You're not around a bunch of people who are trying to be really careful about your feelings. It's really you just put yourself in a situation to see what's going to happen, and then you just find out.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, because it goes beyond like just like, you know, in like experimenting with other, you know, genders. It's also like other things. Like I was hooking up with this guy for a while, not for a while, but like there's just a person when I go home to DC, he's there, it's easy. But the first time we're hooking up, we're like in bed together, and he puts his arm up, and all of a sudden there's a cuff on the arm.
Oh,
And I was like, huh. And then he was like, do the other arm. And so I did. And he was like, and there's two at the base. Do the. I was like,
wow.
so he has me tie him up fully to the bed, feet, arms. And I'm like, okay, I'm into this. This is fun. And then he goes, behind that door there. Go look behind the door. There's a cat o' nine tails.
No.
And he was like, use it.
Oh shit.
And I will say, did not turn me on, but a real fun experience.
Okay.
Because I just kind of got to, you know, I was like, you put me up real late in the lineup. Oh wait, no. No, I can't say anymore. I can't say anymore because it'll be
you
known.
got back at him.
Because I got back at him.
Cat of nine
Tails. He was just like, I would do it, and he would be like a little harder, and I'd be like, okay, and then he was like harder, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that was in me.
Oh.
That's the fun thing about experimenting is when something comes out that you didn't know was there.
Sure, yeah.
But it didn't like turn you on at all.
It didn't turn me on, but I did go back for seconds
Okay.
and thirds. We've hooked up. This was at least like a year and some change ago, but like, no, it wasn't a year. It was right after my last breakup. So about a year ago. But like, I went and I did that like 2-3 times just because it was a really fun time. And I was surprised. And I think it's the thing that didn't turn me on about it was that, I think it did turn me on. I just didn't get off, which is weird because we didn't do it long enough.
I liked it, but it didn't make me calm.
Yeah, okay. That was the dynamic. But yeah, like finding out that you're like weirdly into something that you didn't know you'd be into.
Oh, that's how I feel about spanking. I never thought that I would like being spanked, and then somebody spanked me unexpectedly, and I was like, oh,
that's there.
yeah, it's kind of nice.
Has there ever been a thing that you were like, I didn't know that I liked this?
I kind of always knew I liked spanking. I kind of just always knew.
Like beginner at this point.
But now, Tom, I found people just choke you now without asking. Did you notice that?
Yes, absolutely.
And now the first time I was choked, I was pretty like, all right, well, didn't really do anything for me, really.
Okay.
But I don't know why, but I think it's hot to be what is this called?
Oh.
Basically, the hand doesn't do it for me.
Oh, you
need
the
arm.
the arm.
Interesting. Oh, okay. You need to
It's-
feel in real danger.
No, I don't know why. It's just makes me feel tiny and delicate, and they're not trying to choke me to get the air out.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
that
yeah.
position.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. One time where somehow I'm in that position, and I'm like, oh,
This is new.
I
Yeah.
like this. Yeah, just
Well-
the elbow around the.
Are you
So-
monogamous or non-monogamous?
Oh, monogamous.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
I feel like I've been married.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I like.
But, yeah, it's great. It's a safe space to try new things when you're with someone. And,
Yeah, for a lot, especially that one. And the nice thing is that when it doesn't go well, you're at least you're like in a good. Once I think let's see here. The most annoying one was for me getting cat of nine tails easy because I like the spread apartness of the
butt cheeks.
of the butt cheeks. No, but there was ones where we used a riding crop, and that was too hardcore.
Oh, okay.
And I remember I got smacked with it once, and I'm like, ow! And then he was like, yeah, and I was like, no. And I like it to stop at me. But like that's the nice thing about dating somebody is because immediately they hear it and they know your body and they know how it reacts, and they're like, okay, this is done. I think the least successful experiment that happened was for him and not for me was we were like, oh, what if we got a vibrator? And like I was fake coming up until that time.
And you were like, he has to see me come for real now.
So in like the male gaze when I was faking it, I was like, oh yeah, yes. Ah, and then like he used a vibrator and I came and I went, ah.
Did he identify the difference?
Yeah.
Then I laughed for a solid 3 minutes afterwards because it was also so intense. But I laughed for 3
I'm
whole
not
minutes.
gonna lie. The first time seeing a woman orgasm wasn't scary, but I was like, that's probably the most annoying question, which is, "Are you okay?" Like,
That's how you know you did right.
just the now I was like, "Okay, I get it." Like,
Yeah.
just be quiet a little bit, because
Yeah, exactly. It's hard
But the first time, it's like, it's like, what? What's that?
because it's not how it's portrayed in porn.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's very different. It's very guttural and intense. Oh, like
Wow, I got to bring a woman to orgasm.
It's like watching.
I gotta do this.
it's like watching someone like throw up or broke their leg, and you're just, what's happened? You know? It's just like a bodily thing that you're just like,
It's kind of like watching someone get injured.
Yeah.
In a very fun way. But ever since then, I never faked an orgasm again because like I was like, oh, that's how different it is. Oh, one day you're gonna find somebody who knows. Also, my last boyfriend was very technically skilled.
Okay.
Would be the right word for it. Because I couldn't remember. We dated for 3 years. I can remember individual sessions too.
Wow.
But every time he rang the bell,
Okay.
which respect.
Yeah. You
Respect
got to
to
respect
him.
that.
Yeah, you know, what are you gonna do?
Come.
Come for 3 solid years and then go back on the dating scene.
Congratulations and welcome.
Yeah. That always sounds so defeated. Okay, so with 6 years, have you guys found a lot of like fun things together, or has that been okay? How far into this do you want to get? Are you like
well, I like to stay a little bit away.
Okay,
about
all right.
My boyfriend. I don't know
Okay,
how
okay.
comfortable he feels when we talking about all
That's
this.
true. That's true.
But,
It's no name mentioning on purpose.
But we all know. So like, what's this? No, relationship is great. I just love the feeling of companionship.
Yeah.
It's something that like, it's so new to me, you know, and it's something that, yeah, like when you're dating, you don't really have that until you're in like a full relationship.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say, because I don't know why, but he's in my dreams a lot right now.
Oh.
It's been like
That's so
every night now,
lovely.
like you're in my dream. I tell him like you're in my dreams. And it usually it's like my dreams, my dreams. I'm with you all the time. But now you're just in my dreams.
That's kind of lovely. I mean, like 6 years together, totally still in. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How did you guys start talking?
God dang, just comedy, just open mic. I saw him at
Comedy,
open
like-
mic, and I was like, I'm gonna go talk to him.
I'm not talking
And-
about,
Yeah, I think I was pretty aggressive. I immediately just asked them out, and yeah, and then I don't know, and then I moved to Philly for him, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
It's like I was still in
gosh.
New York at the time, and that was crazy. But
That's definitely an experiment. Is this the longest relationship you've been in?
yeah, absolutely 6 years. Yeah,
Oh my God.
and I had like a 2-year relationship in middle school and high school, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
Damn. Honestly, I
but-
respect for that. Yeah. Was
Yeah,
it?
it always starts with an experiment. If you think about it, yeah, the dating is all kind of experimental.
Yeah, that's true. I will say my last boyfriend, I feel kind of bad saying it, but it was a really good relationship. So I don't know. I'm pretty transparent about, I had a really bad issue with cheating, and the last guy I dated was the other man. So I don't even think you know this.
No, I did not.
No, he was the other man, and it was a slow burn. We did Quizzo together all the time. We worked together, and then one night we went out dancing, and I kissed him, and then he Anne Boleyn'd me, and this is a fun.
You cut off
term.
your head?
Yeah, no, that would be Henry VIII me. No, so this is the term I'm trying to get going. It's never going to get going. To Anne Boleyn someone is to be the other person, but never allow them to like go all the way. Like you never go all the way. You only make out. And so he would never. He wouldn't even let me like. He wouldn't. I would try to put his hand on my boobs, and he wouldn't do it. He was like, no. Like I'll only kiss you because I'm crazy about you. But this is so
Did I
wrong,
know
and we can't do this.
that there's a word for it, but yes, I've been there.
Yeah, you've Anne Boleyn someone,
No,
or you've been Anne Boleyn.
been Amberland.
Yeah. And it drove me crazy. And it got to the point where like I couldn't be without him, and I knew I wasn't in love with the person I was dating anymore. And so we broke up, and then we kind of started dating, and then it got really serious, and then we fell in love, and it was really nice. And I was like surprised, but that we ended up dating for 3 years. But like
That's great.
I kind of just jumped in because I was like, if I threw away this relationship that was, for all accounts, like really intellectually charged and it was a good match, then I got to give this a real shot. And I did. And it really worked out for a while. It was the first and then I went to therapy because I wanted to start cheating on people, but that was, a different thing. I was like, let me be a better person too while I'm at it.
So you date the
Yeah.
other guy for 3 years.
Yeah, the other guy did it for 3 years.
I'm glad you got that because when I was in high school, I didn't cheat on anybody, but I was the other guy,
Oh.
and so we never had sex.
Yeah.
We would do all the other stuff,
Yeah.
but we were very, very in love, and even with my own struggle with I felt like, I don't know. I felt like it didn't matter. I felt like if we gave her a chance, I don't know. Who knows where?
That's the thing about, yeah.
And the sad part was at the time, everyone, in my life said this is so wrong. It went on for a while, for like 6 months, I think. And everyone was just like, no one was supportive of me being the other person.
Yeah.
And, eventually I dropped out of the triangle,
Yeah.
and it just, things were never the same. The feelings were not there anymore. And even when they broke up with their boyfriend, we just didn't have that anymore,
Yeah.
And it was sad because I told my mom, I'm like, yeah, I broke up with, and they're like, why? I'm like, what do you mean why? It's bad. I shouldn't be doing this. And she's like, no, you're so stupid. No, you shouldn't have done that. And she was the only person in my life that says that. And my mom is the wisest person in the world. And I will never forget that she's like, do you love each other? I'm like, yeah, I feel like, do you think she could be the one? I'm like, yeah, it feels like it. Then it's not wrong. Because what happened if you guys did get married? Who in the and have kids? Who in the world then would be like, well, you shouldn't have started like that? It's like, no, that's what love is. Once you've made it, who cares how it started?
There's kind of something that's really,
if you have kids, is anybody going to say anything?
I honestly, I did think, because there's a certain point where I was like, if we got married, I would happily say he was the other. I wouldn't care.
No one could
because
say
I'd be
anything.
like,
They'd be like, baby's beautiful. Fuck the other guy. Like,
yeah. He was also a gorgeous man, which really helped. He was a very good looking
I'm
guy.
glad that to hear that you got just 3 years, because I always regret it.
No.
We never had a proper relationship.
Oh no, don't worry. It ended poorly. But no, it didn't end super. It fizzled out in in a very organic way. But then we made a heinous mistake, which was continuing to live together for 6 months because it was financially better for us.
Oh.
Yeah, and then and luckily it wasn't bad. It was just painful. It was 6 months of it being really painful. But now we just yeah, luckily now we managed to separate very, very cleanly. And his friends and I still see his friends around, and they'll be like, what's up, Rachel? And I'll be like, hey, and it was good. But yeah, man, that was a deep, that was a risk. That was a dive risk. I was just like, I'm just going to do it because I like him a lot, and this is going to happen. And it happened. It was great.
I'm glad that worked out for me.
Yeah.
With him for 6 years.
Yeah, it's a
That
really
was the
good
thing,
deep
too.
my
My mom loved him because my mom just wanted me to move back.
It's
It's like, yeah, I just got my baby to move back. Oh. So my mom always will love Joe for that.
yeah.
And as soon as I left New York, I was like, why did I ever subject to myself this long to
Yeah.
living here?
Well, how long did you live in New York?
5 years.
Oh gosh.
And for some reason, I honestly felt like I could not be trans elsewhere. I could not do comedy elsewhere. I was just so scared to leave.
I'm just remembering now. Sean O'Shaughnessy said that you hooked him up with the scene here a little bit.
Yeah, Sean O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah.
Gosh, Sean O'Shaughnessy.
Shout out to Sean O'Shaughnessy.
Shout out to Sean O'Shaughnessy. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd get funny until I came here. So there are people that don't remember me, and I want to keep it that way. I go there now, and people are like, I get to re-debut, which is nice. So I gotta kill Sean O'Shaughnessy. He's the only one that remembers me from the old days.
Sorry, Sean. I bet he wasn't funny either. So
It's just I'm happily funny.
I'm
happily letting that person, for people to think that was a different person than me.
Yeah.
They're like, you remind me of that one unfunny trans woman that used to host that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right? She
that's
sucks.
crazy. Yeah, no. Anything you should be like, wow, can't believe racist just because we're both Asian.
But you get what I'm saying. I just
Yeah.
It's nice to start fresh.
I had 2 years off because of COVID. I just basically dropped
Me
off the
too.
face of the earth.
I had to restart as well.
And then it was so nice because when I got back in, I I had been like going to New York. I just sort of been like taking myself out of Philly for a second because I'm like, people know me and I don't like when people know me. And I think everybody had inferred that things went awry. And so I was like, let me go somewhere else and like kind of feel like a freedom to like be myself. And then like I got to do material about cheating because I felt like I could be honest. And like that was a thing that like over time I'm like, okay, so the audience still doesn't like it. Well, the audience isn't on my side. Why?
Cheater.
And then yeah. And then like but then I like got to hone other things. I got to tell other stories and like figure things out. And then I was like, oh, okay, like this works a little more for my identity. And then like I came back, started writing more. I like went to LA, bombed on a show, and I was like, oh, that's fun. I get to figure out how to never do that again. And then like, yeah, it's taken off and I've like developed.
Ooh.
Have you feel you've developed as a comedian?
Out of experimentation. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's part of it, right? It's just
It's like
trying and failing and trying and failing, and then you find a thing that's like right. That's what I think is a cool thing about like, all right, you're experimenting, you're trying new things, you don't know what the thing is that your thing is, but just through that process of like trial and error and being open minded, you do find the thing that is like for you. And that is like so rewarding, and it makes it so worth it that you were like in that discomfort of like trying something.
Yeah. I mean, like, okay, the final experiment. You ever done what drug experimentations?
Oh my God.
No, we're never gonna get into Congress now, Rachel.
No.
And I just remember, yes, one day I was just like, weed isn't a gateway drug. See, I've and I just counted everything. I was like, oh shit, I think I've done most of it.
You've done most of it? Wait, how many drugs have you done?
Let's
Okay,
see.
wait, we'll go around the room. I want to know how many drugs people have done.
So like, did coke like 3 times. Wasn't for me.
Okay, yeah.
Wasn't for me. I was just like, I don't get it. I don't know. I was drunk and now I'm not. That sucks. That's the only way I can say it. I was drunk and now I'm not.
Wasted my money.
Yeah. Ketamine was fun.
Okay.
But after the night afterwards, like that night, I just didn't feel anything afterwards.
Like emotionally?
Yeah, like I watched all of Ted 2 and didn't laugh once, but I still watched it. Still watched it like it was a drama. Just watched Ted 2, and I remember being like, "This is weird." But before that, it was awesome.
Okay, all right.
I did acid for like a month.
Oh,
nice. Okay.
Yeah, straight up, just like for a month, and I'm glad I got out because, yeah. Now I'm like, Now I've been offered acid. I'm like, I'm fine. I
feel like
did it
acid's
all.
for smart people.
yeah.
I just felt like I did it all. Like all the things I wanted. Like I was getting bored on acid. I was watching I was watching the movie Saw.
On acid?
On acid. Just to feel.
Wild woman.
And
Oh my.
it's so funny because you thought it would scare me, but it didn't because everything just looked really fake. I'm like, the blood looks really bright, and you don't look like you're in real pain. Everything just became like a cartoon. It's just like, damn, this isn't scary. So to scare myself, I would watch documentary about racists, and that would freak me out. Be like these monsters are real.
Oh no!
I would watch like
Bad.
KKKs, and I would be like, we're in the same world.
Oh my
They're just in another
God.
state. Like, I would freak me out. And
It's a deep dive into your psyche. You're like, now I know what I'm really afraid of.
and then one day I was just like, all right, I think I'm completely bored of this. And oh shit, it's October 1st. And that was that. And that was psychedelic September that one year.
Psychedelic September.
And I'm never the same again.
Okay, mushrooms?
Yes, mushrooms.
Okay.
Just make me feel like I was sick the whole time. I don't like
that's not fun.
Oh yeah, the
the
tummy.
nausea
Tum
and
tum.
stuff.
Tum-tum.
But man, I was very emotional.
See, I think I'm an emotional person. And so for me, mushrooms always agreed with me. I have a fantastic time.
Wow.
Yeah. And then,
I didn't like it.
yeah.
I
Okay.
was too, like all my shells are gone. Acid was still like, I know what's up. I know what's up.
Interesting.
I'm
It's interesting you put it that way. That's a very good way to put it, I think.
yeah. But you think people think you lose your mind? No, you know what's up.
Yeah.
You just can't control the filters that's happening.
Molly.
I did Molly once, but I don't know if I did it right because everybody else had an orgy and I didn't.
Oh shit.
And I was watching Nuclear. And the thing was, I really didn't want to cheat at the time. And I was just like so terrified to like, I cannot like ruin my relationship
Oh,
because
that's
I was on Molly.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I have nightmares where I've cheated and I felt like I've just destroyed everything.
Oh
And I
my
wake up and I
gosh.
thank God I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I went to a house party once where somebody fed me Xanax, which I was not used to doing,
Oh.
and my boyfriend showed up, and I was like making out with some random dude in the kitchen because I was so relaxed. I was so uninhibited from the Xanax, so I just didn't care. So my boyfriend walked in and caught me making out, and it was a big
That
problem.
was a shit show.
It was totally a shit show. 'Cause I was like, I was even like understanding why he was upset. I was like, "Hey, Eric, what's going on?"
Oh my God. Yeah.
So mad.
I've got,
Sorry
I
to hear
took
that.
Xanax recreationally, but I think I just have anxiety. So it just made me normal.
Wait, that was just Xanax?
That was just Xanax.
Ooh.
I've never done
I have
it.
a
I've
Xanax
never done it.
prescription. That does not do that to me.
Doesn't it make you feel like a little bit just like cooler with things? Just like
I'm chill.
But I'm also a
I'm like,
very
I want-
anxious person. So for me, when I've had Xanax, I'm like, okay,
It's nice.
all right, I'm just gonna go do my life.
Yeah, this small thing doesn't upset me anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so clearly you've done all the drugs. I feel like.
Wait, I wasn't finished.
Oh, you're not. okay. No, keep going.
Last one, I think. This got to be the last one. Crystals.
oh, like crystal meth.
Didn't know what it was. Crystal I lit up. Tasted like bitter
Yep,
medicine.
meth.
And crazy's high. What the heck's going on?
Wow.
I accidentally did crystal meth recently. It was a lot like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was on accident. I thought it was Molly.
whoops.
I mean, the night turned out so crazy that I'm sure I'm never going to do that again, no matter how good it felt.
Yeah,
It was a mistake. It was the weirdest, like, I didn't consent to this. I did
my
not.
God.
yeah.
There were, someone used my weed pipe for that.
Oh, that would.
Yeah, and it just like, and so I just thought, I just packed my weed in.
Yeah.
Oh, that was not, what was that? And
Oh,
there was
shit.
like crystals. Someone else had
Oh, my
crushed up
God.
crystals. I'm like, yep.
Okay, so you've done
So-
the gambit, and you're like, I think I know what I like.
Yeah, it's just weed.
Yeah.
Just weed.
Weed and alcohol.
Just weed and booze.
Yeah.
Okay, here, quick list.
Yeah, I've been experimenting with weed for 25 years.
Woo!
Quick list: weed, cocaine, Molly, ketamine, acid, mushrooms, salvia,
Oh,
and PCP once on accident. It was a cigarette that was dipped in angel dust or whatever.
Yeah.
And somebody just passed me a cigarette after a rave, and I was like, "This is great." And that's it. I've never done heroin or anything injectable.
Injectables.
wait, how was PCP?
It was weird.
Okay.
It was disturbingly strange. I mean, like I was on the tail end of like having been partying like all weekend, doing ecstasy, and Lord knows what wasn't ecstasy pills at the time.
Yeah.
And then I did what they call the dippy, and then I had to go to work. It was a Sunday,
Oh.
so I'd been partying all Friday, all Saturday night. I had to go to work Sunday morning at a bookstore, and I just remember like just feeling like extremely cracked out on my bookstore shift. And I don't know if I was hallucinating. I don't remember too well what was going on, but I know I was not doing okay.
So not for you.
I was on drugs.
Yeah.
All right. Wait, weed, cocaine, Molly, mushrooms, acid, and then on accident, meth and heroin once.
I love that we all have an
Heroin.
accidental.
Heroin was mixed in with cocaine that I did.
Oh,
once. I got a secret 8-ball, and I'm alive.
holy shit.
I know. It was fun. But Molly, I've always had a very good time on when it's been real Molly. When it's not real Molly, I grip my teeth so much that I get a sore jaw for a week. The one I'd recommend to everyone is mushrooms, and the one that I didn't like was acid.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. And if my mom's listening to this, sorry, but
Oh, yeah,
you've
that's right.
done as
It was
many
just an
drugs as
experiment.
me. No, my mom's done as many drugs as I have. And it's like, it's gotten to the point too now where like we will exchange drug stories.
Oh, cool.
But it has to be enough time has passed. Like, it can't be like last month I was doing mushrooms. It'll have to be like, well, 4 years ago
I love
when
that.
I was on mushrooms.
Okay.
Right. There's still a level of she's my mother. She's just a cool mom.
She's a cool mom.
Yeah, she's a cool mom. So we're dating now. I'm sorry if you've been monogamous for 6 years, but we have just opened it up.
Yes, we are dating. At the end of every podcast.
At the end of
it
every
turns out
podcast,
we're not dating.
yeah, because the conversation is so intimate and so lovely. We just open.
Now we're together.
We just feel in love.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Like, was very fun. Get to know you guys.
Yeah. Oh, wait, what'd you say?
I said I feel like we really got to know you guys.
Yeah.
Like,
It's fun. We try to make it seem like we're all hanging out on a Friday night with wine. If it wasn't dry January, I'd be drunk right now.
oh, it's dry January.
For me,
For Rachel.
because I'm lame. Anyway,
How are we doing on time?
all
We're
right.
there. Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in. Thank you
Thanks
for
for
joining
tuning
us,
in.
Tan.
Thanks,
Thank you for
Tan.
having me. This was so fun.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
You know what is an amazing idea, Rachel?
What's an amazing idea?
Liking and subscribing
Oh my God, you're very, very right.
to us.
To us at we.r.datingpod on Instagram, and you can find us under that on YouTube as well.
That's right. That's we.r.datingpod, and that's the letter R.
Yeah, that was my bad.
You'll figure it out.
Hey, hold right there. Don't dare skip this. This is an important message. Me and my boy Albert Davis, we want to tell you about our podcast, Seriously Dad. Albert, why should they listen?
Because it's the best podcast in the world. It's by two comedians who are dads. And you know what we're talking about? Being dads. It's called Seriously Dad. Check us out on social media at Seriously Dad Podcast. And
Anywhere you get your podcast, that's where we're at. We're funny. We got some great guests coming our way. We cover the topics you want to hear. Check us out.
This has been a Drop Tent Media production.